Hi everyone, Anthony K. Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of this Larry June, 2 Chainz, and The Alchemist album, Life is Beautiful. Here we have the newest collaboration between Cali rapper Larry June and legendary hip-hop producer The Alchemist. If you remember, these two had a pretty notable crossover back in 2023, The Great Escape, an album that was equally luxurious and sleepy as Alchemist and Larry casually strolled their way through a series of expensive, braggadocious bars and very chilled out jazzy loops. Now, I wasn't crazy about the album myself, as the whole thing felt maybe just a bit too low-key, disengaged, comatose, but in an age where drumless and very relaxed abstract hip-hop gets a lot of traction in the alternative scene, and terminally chill music reigns supreme on streaming platform playlists, the popularity of this record makes total sense. So Larry and Uncle Al decided to craft another project together, but also bring along a big surprise guest. That would be Georgia rap veteran 2 Chainz, who is an interesting inclusion on the 11 tracks here, to say the least. I mean, to my ears, he's not necessarily the most logical pick for an album such as this, because 2 Chainz is typically known for his flamboyant energy, his unhinged sense of humor, his absurd one-liners, which isn't the most obvious match for The Great Escape's laid-back, understated vibes. I mean, 2 Chainz is the kind of guy who makes music for partying on a 7-figure yacht, not taking a nap on one. However, I suppose this record could be a case of opposites attracting as opposed to oil and water mixing. So yeah, somehow this collaboration happened, but I think it was mostly at the sacrifice of 2 Chainz' animated delivery, which is turned down at least several notches on this record. But even in this muted state, he is easily the most memorable and standout thing about the entire record, and still comes across relatively funny, outlandish, and charismatic. I would also say vocally, he carries a bulk of the most memorable refrains on this record too, be it on Bad Choices, or LLC, or Colossal. And honestly, if this record overcomes any of the pitfalls that I felt The Great Escape had, it's mostly by virtue of 2 Chainz coming in and making this record as interesting as it is. Meanwhile, Larry is just kind of Larry. I don't think lyrically or vocally there are many updates I can provide since the release of The Great Escape here. His delivery continues to be very understated, very monotone. The flows are average at best, and while I can appreciate an artist taking a more minimal approach or not wanting to do too much, usually engaging in such a thing involves a trade-off of some sort. Maybe in lieu of more complex flows or a more animated delivery, you're getting some extra quirk or headier bars, more esoteric reference points or a concept. I don't know, anything really that would signify some kind of creative eccentricity, but we are still not getting that. For the most part, Larry's writing, it just kind of centers around just a lot of very casual, expensive escapism with no layers, no depth, no real angle or wit. It just kind of reads like materialism, but it's delivered at like an ambient volume. I guess Larry's performances don't really get on my nerves or overstay their welcome in the way that they did on The Great Escape, but once more, I think that's mostly by virtue of there being more variety on this record, provided by the fact that 2 Chainz is in the mix on all these tracks. There's just another voice here for Larry to bounce off of, essentially. Meanwhile, The Alchemist production is loop heavy, it's intoxicating, it's classy, simple, but still well crafted. And while I do think it is good, on records like these, I feel like he's doing everything he can to play a super supportive role and not steal too much of the shine away from either Larry or 2 Chainz. I mean, the grim vibes and reversed percussion on Colossal are great. The flute hits on the title track of the record are pristine and gorgeous. For sure, the beats on this record are solid. I just wish more interesting things were happening with them, which is why I'm feeling a strong 5 to a light 6 on this record. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Larry June, The Alchemist, 2 Chainz, forever.